This morning, two parents in a Washington, D.C. suburb are under scrutiny from Child Protective Services. Police intervened when they allowed their children, aged 6 and 10, to walk alone on a busy street. Chip Reid is in Silver Spring, Maryland, with the case sparking debate about the balance between independence and safety. Chip, good morning.
Well, good morning. Let me give you the lay of the land here. These two kids, 6 and 10 years old, were playing in a park about a half mile that way. Their home is about a half mile that way. So they walked down very busy Colesville Road, crossed this very busy intersection onto even busier Georgia Avenue. Now, somewhere along the way, the police were called by a good citizen reporting these two children out alone. They picked the two kids up right across the street there. The parents had approved this entire adventure. Now they're being investigated for neglect, but they are fighting back. Devorah Maytive and her brother Rafi aren't always with their parents. The 6 and 10-year-old are allowed to walk around the block, visit the library, and play in local parks, all on their own.
We can walk anywhere in Silver Spring, and it's really fun.
Fun is what they were hoping to have in December when they asked their father to drop them off at this park a mile from home. It would have been their longest solo walk yet, but they only made it halfway.
The police came and picked them up and brought them home.
Alex Maytive and his wife Danielle say at one point there were 6 officers at their house. They are now being investigated for child neglect.
And if they determine that there's an imminent danger of harm to the children, they're authorized to come and take the children.
And ask questions later.
In Maryland, a child under the age of 8 cannot be left alone in a building, enclosure, or motor vehicle, and they must be with a reliable person who is at least 13. But the Maytives argue that giving their children freedom builds self-confidence and self-reliance. It's called free-range parenting, and it's how they are raising Devorah and Rafi.
They need to take many risks in controlled situations like the park down the street in order to grow into the confident adults that we want them to be.
The Maytives say they teach their children to be safe.
They know to look both ways when they cross the street, to always use the crosswalk, to hold hands. They know not to go off with strangers, although they are allowed to talk to strangers, and most strangers are people who would help them.
Lessons that seem to be sticking with 10-year-old Rafi.
They told us all the rules, like how to cross the street and how to be safe.
And if you're wondering, Rafi has a strong opinion about the controversy.
You might laugh at this, but I was kind of annoyed because I've gone through it before, so it's kind of just not fair.
Now, this is not the first time the Maytives have been in trouble for this. In October, they were reported for allowing their children to play alone in a different park. Now, the Montgomery County Police and Child Protective Services say they have no choice. If a good citizen calls in and reports children out alone, they have to investigate. And Gail, this is a story that has people buzzing and taking sides.
Yeah, I can imagine, Chip. I actually see both sides. That Rafi's a very mature little boy. Parents think they know their child and they're in the neighborhood, but these are also different times.
Right.
Apart from this case, there's something to be said for developing self-reliance.
Yes, yeah.
You know, the thing is, it's not really about the kids. It's about other people that may be around the kids that you want to protect them from. And that's clearly, you know, it's nice that other people called in to say they were worried about these kids walking by themselves.
The conversation will continue.